Hey there, welcome to my channel and today's video where we'll delve into the lives of adolescents. But not literally, we know how much they dislike it. First things first, now I'm not an adolescent, but I do like myself a good number of thumbs up and attention. So if you find this video interesting and helpful, please like, share and subscribe. Coming on to the big A word. Adolescence, adolescence. What comes to our minds when we first think about adolescence? The rash teenagers in yet another Netflix and Prime Video series? Or the phrases like an emotional roller coaster ride and one of the most favorites, the age where our friends are at everything and our parents? Well, we'll ask what our friends have to think about them too. Adolescent is all of that in parts, but it is so much more too. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the socio-emotional development of our adolescent friends, and to help us all be on the same page, we'll begin by defining the big A word. Adolescence is the period which lies between the childhood and the adulthood. The adolescent is neither a child nor yet a mature human being. And some common observations show that these are the transition years when the boy or girl can no longer be treated as a child, although not yet a full-grown adult. Now, adolescence has been defined and characterized by various age ranges. For example, 10 to 19 years as recognized by the World Health Organization, and some other ranges too. Different texts have different age ranges, but for our clarity and understanding in this video, we'll be considering the age range of 12 to 19 years. Now that we have established an understanding of what the big A word is, let's move on to their development, and more specifically, their socio-emotional development. Socio-emotional development includes the way an individual develops in the context of their social groups, their emotions, and everything that surrounds these two topics. And to be more specific, socio-emotional development refers to the process through which individuals develop the ability to experience, express, and manage their emotions, as well as to establish meaningful interpersonal relationships. Now, this might include the skills such as emotional regulation, empathy, and understanding social cues, which are critical to form healthy social relationships and to adjust to society's emotional demands. In this video, we'll also be covering the moral development of this age group, including the areas like values, religion, and touching a little upon spirituality. Now, what does moral development refers to? It refers to the gradual process through which individuals develop the capacity to distinguish what is right from wrong, to make ethical decisions, and act according to moral values. This might include the development of conscience, moral reasoning, and behavior based on the internalized societal norms, etc. To keep things a little organized, we'll take an overview of what we'll be covering in this video. We'll go from understanding the theoretical basis of these developments to how these theories apply to the lives of adolescents, and interpreting some of the interactions that we have had with an individual of this age group and what research has to say about our adolescent friends. Let's begin with the most important question that most of us have or will find ourselves pondering about. Who am I? Yes, we're talking about identity. In the middle of the drastic physiological changes, the roller coaster of emotions, and the utter chaos of the teen years, every adolescent finds themselves questioning who they really are. And even after putting a lot of thought into it, they might still not find an answer right away. But not to worry, because we do have some theoretical backing to it. The 8 Stages of Psychosocial Development by Erikson, who was one of the most prominent personalities in the field of psychology. Now, Erikson gave 8 stages through which an individual goes as a part of their psychosocial development, and in each stage, there is a conflict that needs to be resolved. For the purpose of this video and the age in concern, we will be talking about the 5th stage, which is identity versus role confusion. Erikson emphasized that during adolescence, individuals face the conflict of identity versus role confusion. During this time, adolescents explore various roles and integrate these experiences into a personal identity. The successful resolution of this stage leads to a sense of fidelity and commitment to a sense of self. But this conflict resolution is also not an overnight process, and thus came to rescue James Marcia, who developed more upon Erikson's theory and gave the stages of identity formation. He gave 4 stages, which are identity diffusion, which means that the exploration has not really started and thus there is no commitment to an identity. Identity foreclosure, which means that the individual has committed without exploring any alternatives, oftentimes adhering to the expectations of their parents and taking on that identity. Identity moratorium, which means that there is an active exploration of different roles and identities, but the commitment has not yet happened. An identity achievement, which means that after a period of exploration, the individual has made a clear commitment to a particular identity, reflecting maturity and self-understanding. Adolescents keep moving between these stages as they experiment with the different roles and beliefs. Research studies suggest that individuals go through these MA cycles, that is, of moratorium achievement and again from moratorium to achievement. And Marcia 2002 points out that the first identity is not and should not be expected to be the final product. As we explore through the findings from recent studies on identity development in adolescence, we see a very clear theme emerge. For instance, Crocetti and colleagues in 2019 found that self-esteem and life events significantly shape identity formation, indicating that enhancing self-esteem could help facilitate smoother identity transitions. Many other studies have been conducted which highlight that MA cycles are not linear but rather dynamic, showing that environments fostering exploration can promote healthier identity. Another research study in 2018 emphasized the role of cultural context, suggesting that culturally sensitive approaches can support adolescents in their identity journeys. Coming on to the last research for this video, Crocetti and Schwartz in 2020 confirmed that identity development is an ongoing process, reinforcing the need for continuous support systems for adolescents. Now that we've explored identity, let's dive into another crucial aspect of adolescent development, which is self-esteem. Self-esteem is essentially how we evaluate our own worth, encompassing beliefs about our confidence and competence. During adolescence, self-esteem becomes increasingly significant as individuals seek peer acceptance and navigate the complexities of forming their identities. Many research studies have been conducted in the Indian context as well. For instance, Sinha in 2020 found that self-esteem in adolescents can fluctuate greatly based on peer acceptance and academic performance, emphasizing the importance of strong family support and positive peer relationships. Moreover, Kumar and Singh in 2021 highlighted how cultural pressures can affect self-esteem. In collectivistic societies like India, adolescents may feel pressured to conform, leading to lower self-esteem. Thus, intervention should aim to balance cultural values with individual aspirations. Lastly, a study conducted by Chaudhary and Sharma in 2022 revealed a strong link between social media use and self-esteem. Positive interactions can boost self-esteem, while negative ones can lead to declines. Now that the who am I question is addressed, the next big question for the adolescents is what is right and what is wrong. And thus comes into picture the morals and moral development, which we will understand through another very famous theory, that is Kohlberg's moral development theory. Lawrence Kohlberg gave this theory in which he put forth 3 levels of moral development, with each level having 2 substages. This theory describes how individuals across lifespan view and make judgments about the right and wrong. Since we are talking about adolescence, we will take a look at the level which is mostly found during the adolescence and the adulthood, that is, the second level, conventional level of moral development. This level is crucial as adolescents start to internalize societal norms and values, shaping their understanding of right and wrong. Within the conventional level, there are two substages. Stage 3, good interpersonal relationships, where the adolescents seek to gain approval and maintain good relationships, and their moral reasoning is influenced by how their actions will affect others, striving to be seen as good by peers and adults. And stage 4, which is the maintaining social order or the law and order maintaining stage. At this stage, individuals recognize the importance of laws and rules in the society. They understand that following these rules helps maintain social order, leading them to prioritize duty and respect for authority. To illustrate Kohlberg's theory, we often refer to the Heinz dilemma, which was used by Kohlberg, which challenges individuals to think about moral decisions. Inspired by this dilemma, we have developed a scenario set in the Indian context involving a 17-year-old girl named Ananya. This scenario reflects her struggle between the personal values and societal expectations, offering insight into her moral reasoning at this pivotal stage of the development. Now, this was the dilemma that was presented to our 17-year-old during the interview, and here's how she responded. Quote, "The degree you get is something that shows your abilities, and it's not fair to people who rarely studied. It is an assessment of your worth." She also mentioned that her parents, as role models, and her religious values guide her decisions and reinforce the belief that cheating is wrong. Along with that, there's a fear of the consequences of cheating too. Now, how does this fit into the Kohlberg's theory of moral development? Based on her reasoning, this response aligns with the stage 4, that is, law and order orientation or law and order maintaining stage. At this stage, the adolescent and adults start emphasizing following rules and laws to maintain social order and fairness. In her case, fairness is about upholding the established rules, and her views reflect that cheating violates this sense of fairness towards the others who have worked hard. Now, to sum it up, her response shows a moral judgment rooted in the belief that following rules is essential for fairness and that her personal values and fear of consequences further guide her to make this decision. In India, both religion and parental values hold significant weight in shaping the moral judgments of adolescents. According to a research study conducted in 2016, parental influence and religious beliefs often guide moral decision making during adolescence. This aligns with our interviewee's response as well, where she talks about her parents' teachings and religious values playing a key role in her choice to not cheat. In the Indian context, this connection between religion and morality is deeply ingrained. Religious teachings often serve as a moral compass, helping adolescents distinguish right from wrong. At the same time, parents act as moral gatekeepers, reinforcing societal norms and values. This creates a powerful influence where breaking rules is not just a matter of legal consequence but a violation of deeply held beliefs and familial expectations. In this way, religion and parental guidance form the backbone of moral reasoning for many Indian adolescents. Now that religion is mentioned, let's discuss the role of religion and spirituality in adolescence. In India, religion is deeply intertwined with an adolescent's daily life, often guiding their values and decisions, as was also mentioned by our interviewee. Research has shown that unlike their Western peers, Indian adolescents integrate religious beliefs into their moral framework, influenced heavily by parents, family, and community traditions. Religion provides not just a moral compass, but also a sense of belonging in a culturally diverse nation. Spirituality also plays a role as adolescents begin to question life's deeper meanings. While not always tied to formal religious practices, it helps them find personal purpose and connection. So, that was about morals, religions, and spirituality. And similar to that is values. As adolescents move through this period of self discovery, they begin to solidify their values, balancing personal goals with concern for the well being of others. Schwartz's basic human values theory outlines 10 universal values such as self direction, achievement, benevolence, and universalism, which guide individuals' decisions and behaviors. In the Indian context, adolescents tend to emphasize values that align with the cultural expectations, such as respect for family, tradition, and loyalty. In our interview, the 17-year-old participant also rated respect and loyalty as the most important values, followed by achievement, family, and self direction. This reflects the importance of balancing personal success with responsibility towards family, a common trend in Indian adolescence. Interestingly, universalism and tradition were also rated high, which might indicate that despite globalization and exposure to diverse ideas, Indian adolescents still deeply value community and cultural heritage. Now that we have discussed a lot of important topics, now it's time to move to the most awaited ones, the social groups and emotions. Let's take into consideration an important theory, that is, Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, which emphasizes that human development is shaped by multiple environmental systems. These systems might look like the microsystem, which includes the individual's immediate surroundings like their family, schools, and peers, the mesosystem, which includes the interactions between the elements in their microsystem, such as how the family life might affect the school performance. Third, the exosystem, which includes the indirect influences such as a parent's workplace, the macrosystem, including the cultural values, laws, and societal norms, and finally the chronosystem, which is the dimension of time, including life events and historical contexts such as changes over time or shifts in family structures. For adolescents in particular, these systems range from the immediate microsystem, including their family, schools, and peers, to the broader macrosystems of cultural values and societal norms. Adolescence is a time when peer relationships gain prominence, often influencing the decision making, identity formation, and emotional well being, as we have already mentioned before. In our interview as well, when mapping her support network, a participant highlighted 3 friends and only 2 family members as being the strongest relationships, suggesting that while family remains important, peers play a significant role in offering emotional support and advice. This aligns with research studies as well, such as the one conducted in 2019, which found that friendships become a primary source of emotional support during adolescence, often due to increased autonomy and evolving parent-adolescent relationships. Interestingly, our participant who identifies as an introvert expressed the tendency to keep to herself, seeking less external emotional support. This pattern resonates with research on attachment styles during adolescence, like the one conducted by Sethi and colleagues in 2021, which show that introverted adolescents may struggle with expressing emotions, yet their close-knit relationships with a few friends provide essential emotional outlets, especially during the times of stress. While her family's influence was evident, particularly in shaping values, our participants' ideologies differed slightly from that of her parents, reflecting a common trend of autonomy development and risk-taking behaviors in adolescence. Parent-adolescent conflict, although not significant for our participant, often arises during this period due to generational differences in ideology. Sharma and Tripathi in 2020 highlight that in Indian families, conflicts between adolescents and parents are generally moderate but revolve around independence, career choices, and social behavior. Bronfenbrenner's theory beautifully captures how these systems interact, helping us understand the growing importance of peer networks in shaping adolescents' emotional and social life. Next, as we approach towards the last few topics for this video, let's explore the next important topic of emotional development during adolescence, a critical period that is characterized by heightened emotional experiences and sensitivity. According to recent research, adolescents often report increased emotional variability and vulnerability, and many experience tears and heightened emotional responses. For example, our interviewee shared that she finds herself tearing up more easily now than before. This aligns with the common trends as emotional regulation becomes more complex during this time due to the physiological changes such as hormonal fluctuations and rapidly changing bodies. Empathy plays a significant role in emotional development too. To further understand emotional regulation, we utilized the Emotional Regulation Questionnaire, and our participant scores showed a strong tendency towards cognitive reappraisal, indicating that she often rethinks situations to manage her emotions effectively. However, her relatively high score for expressive suppression suggests she frequently holds back her emotional experiences and expressions. This pattern is not uncommon among adolescents, particularly in India, where cultural norms often discourage open emotional expression. Research highlights that many Indian adolescents may prioritize familial and societal expectations, sometimes leading to increased suppression of emotions. Balancing these emotional strategies is crucial, as studies indicate that those who effectively employ reappraisal tend to have better emotional and psychological outcomes. In conclusion, our participants' responses and scores reflect the complex emotional landscape of adolescence. As they navigate these changes, the interplay of emotional regulation strategies, empathy, and physiological development plays a significant role in shaping their experiences and decisions. As we come to the end of our exploration of adolescence, we've covered the most significant theories and aspects shaping the stage of development. From socio-emotional growth, identity formation, cognitive development, to values, morality, and spirituality. Each of these influences play an important role in shaping who adolescents become. We focused on some of the most important and commonly known theories such as Erikson, Kohlberg, and Marcia, but there are many others like that of Tajfel and Turner's social identity theory or Fowler's faith development theory that we may explore in the future discussions. At the heart of all of this is the push for autonomy, and a key factor in supporting this is parental control and monitoring. Research suggests that while parental involvement is crucial, it must strike the right balance. A study conducted in 2017 emphasized that appropriate parental monitoring encourages healthy independence, while over-control can stifle it, leading to issues like rebellion or a lack of self-confidence. Allowing good adolescents the space to make their own decisions while still providing guidance is essential for their emotional and cognitive growth. One area we haven't touched upon yet is the role of romantic relationships in adolescence. These relationships, whether dating or simply forming emotional bonds, help adolescents develop social skills, a sense of intimacy, and even deeper aspects of identity. However, it is also a period where they navigate vulnerability, requiring both support and the opportunity to explore these relationships in a healthy environment. To conclude, adolescence is a dynamic period filled with changes across social, emotional, and moral dimensions. From identity crisis to value formation, adolescents constantly keep evolving, shaped by their interactions and the world around them. If you're an adolescent, remember that adolescence is a journey, a time of change, confusion, growth, and discovery. You'll go through many things, but trust us, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And if you're a parent watching this video, adolescence is perhaps nature's way of preparing parents to welcome the empty nest, as is rightly said by Karen Savage and Patricia Adams. All in all, this transitory period of utter chaos and tumultuous emotions is what makes us who we are and is filled with growth and self-discovery. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful and interesting, please like, share and comment. Thank you.